Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cuatro Cuatro Dos. Once again, there's your boy Christian, and today we are back. We are going to another part of the world. We've been all around the world, talking to different people, and today we're actually back in the United States, but we're in the Midwest, where I don't know if Kansas is considered the Midwest, but we'll throw it in there today. But a lot of people is in Missouri, Kansas. I don't know. We'll figure it out right now. But a lot of people, they're asking, Argentinians are usually in Miami or New York or whatever, and you never see a guy that's Argentinian in Kansas. What the hell is an Argentinian doing in Kansas? So, first question for Kevin, my guest today. First of all, how are you doing, Kevin? How are you, man?
Good, thank you. I'm excited to be on here. I'm crossing some more enemy lines. Every time I'm not on a sporting podcast or something, I always feel like I'm cheating. But you know what? We're all a family at the end of the day. But I feel good. I'm excited.
All right, so let's get to it. Let me ask you. You were born in Argentina, right?
Yep.
So tell me. Let's go ahead and hit that first of all, and then tell me how the heck does an Argentinian family end up in Kansas City?
Well, so I was born in Lomas, so Buenos Aires. Moved here. My dad's actually American. Met my mom
Oh, okay.
in Argentina. So they got married, had me. Most of my mom's family is in Argentina, and in the early 2000s, as you're aware, and many people are aware, the economy was not very good in Argentina. And my dad, being American, knew like, hey, we could go somewhere that's a little bit more stable, probably more job opportunities, all that fun stuff. So he's been around the aviation world in the Midwest, especially Kansas, is really big on aviation, private jets, even major jumbo jets, a lot of factories up here and engineers. So we moved up here. Argentinians in the Midwest. There is a few. Sometimes I run into a couple, but it's always like we double check. We look at each other if we're wearing an Argentina jersey or something. Or like, nah, he's probably just a fan. He's not from Argentina. I always get that, but yeah, we're out here. We're everywhere. But Miami is a whole other. Miami, Texas, New York, California, even LA, different vibes. The Midwest Argentinians were hiding.
which is not like Argentinians. We're usually out there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Let me go deeper into your Argentina life. How old were you when you made it out to the US? And if you can tell me a little bit about that, short period of time. I don't know if you remember or anything, but do you have any memories of over there?
So what's funny is once I moved, the timeline is a little weird. So once I was born and the recession hit. I was born in 98. So 2000, 2001, that's when we were kind of looking to come to the United States. And when we did, we would be here for a certain amount of time and then go back. And then officially years down the road, we stayed. So all of my memory has been every time we traveled. So pretty much in the summers here in the US and winters there, when I was out of school, I would go down to Argentina with the family, be with them for a little bit and then come back for school. So it always felt like a weird, like, all right, I'm in Argentina mode when it's summertime, and then back when we're back in the States, I'm in school mode. But yeah, growing up, so we have a house. I was born in Lomas, but we have a house in Adrogues. So my life there is more. It's kind of a mix of different places. So everyone, as you probably are aware, because the cities are kind of like boroughs, we have everyone in the family that are born some other city in Buenos Aires, right? We have different people living in different areas, and then we became football fans depending on where we grew up for the most part. My grandpa's on my mom's side is from Spain, moved to Argentina very young in his teens, and he just picked up a River fan. He just became a River fan. I don't know the reason. He went to Argentina in the 40s, I think. I have an older grandpa and older parents, but I don't know if River was popping off then. I have no idea, but he just chose River. So we all been basically my whole family are just River fans. And because I lived in Adrogué, we're Brown fans in the third and second division, depending on what year we're talking. And then I have an uncle who I guess decided, I think in the 80s, that he wanted to kind of be the opposition and go for Boca, especially when Boca became a good team, because for a while it was River, then Boca. And that's when he changed sides. So now I have cousins that are diehard Boca fans, which is always awkward. The group chats are insane, as you can imagine, especially for El Clásicos and Super Clásicos, and that's the thing that is kind of fun. I don't just have River fans, so I can have the beef within the family without actually fighting anyone, and then I go on Twitter, and that's when I can actually be real mean. You get it. But that's it. And grew up obviously supporting Argentina more than anything. Only recently have I even watched the US. I've never really cared, but being in MLS world, you kind of have to pay attention to the US team. So
Yeah. Did you get to go to any stadiums over there, or do you have any memories of like even just playing soccer with the boys outside, outside your house, or go to a park or
yeah,
or something?
in younger years, my parents would not allow me to go to games. Especially, it's just like I am saying this, and you already know, but for people who don't know, it could be pretty dangerous when you're, depending on what games we're talking about. Like my brothers would go to like third division matches, and those are very chill for the most part. But River games, especially early 2000s, it was a nightmare. Even when you could probably remember when we had away fans, and that was not a good time. And then they stopped away fans, and then they're trying to ease back in away fans. There are certain games, and for like a little kid, not a good vibe to go to the stages. But yeah, playing for sure. Especially, I remember playing with my cousins when we were down, and it's always a different vibe because in the U.S., especially in Kansas, it's like no one plays. Well, especially when I was younger, I felt like no one played. So I would be in school. You guys want to play? Want to play some football? Want to play some soccer? And no one, gave a shit. And then I would go back down there, and it's just like, of course, come on, just jump in, let's go. So those are always fond memories that always stayed with me. And even now it's changing. There's more and more kids that are playing. More and more high schools are playing it seriously and all that. And the world here is changing with development, but it's just so different down there. It's a whole other vibe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's completely. I mean, growing up, that's all we did 24/7. Get out of school, literally stay at your house for tomar tu leche chocolatada, and then you just
Uh-huh.
go outside and play with the boys till like
Yeah.
the lights came on. But tell me about Kansas. How Kansas nowadays they auto denominated. I don't know if that's a word, but they call themselves a soccer city, right? Like
Uh-huh.
you guys want to be the soccer city in the United States. So obviously, you talked about maybe back in the day it wasn't as popular. Now you guys are popping. Now you got a World Cup bid. The World Cup is going to Kansas.
Yeah.
Tell me, growing up in Kansas City, how was that? Was there a lot of? Did you get to play like club, high school, or maybe anything like that?
Yeah. So, well, for one thing, Kansas City is always, especially when soccer or Major League Soccer was forced to be a thing after or before the '94 World Cup. Uh, Kansas City is just like one of those cities where, all right, you got East Coast teams, West Coast teams. You're gonna have to have someone in the middle. I mean, you can't just not have anyone. So you see teams in Texas and stuff come up. Kansas City is interesting because now we're looking at a place where the U.S. men's national team train here. The women's also train here. Sporting Kansas City was one of those first teams that they got their own stadium that was more higher end at the time. They rebranded in 2012 or whatever it was, and that's where I became more of a fan. So I played in high school. I played club ball. Right when my younger brother became interested in playing, I stopped club ball because it's just insanely expensive. One of the
Yeah,
downsides of being in the US. And so I was like, you know what? I'm in high school. I'll just let the little brother play club ball. In high school, it just depends on what high school you went to, your division or your area. Because I remember playing high school and not like I'm a great player, but I just felt like I'm not I'm not getting better. I'm just staying the same. The opposition is okay. It wasn't fun. And I've for years looked down at the US and the US soccer system because of that. I just thought like imagine all the kids that are ballers that don't have money, that can't pay for club ball, that maybe go to high school and their high school is trash, so they won't go to the college draft, and even the college draft is trash. And it's just like that whole vibe gave me a really bad taste in my mouth for years. And until like 2011, 2012, Kansas City rebrands their team. They build a new stadium. They look like they're taking this sport more seriously. And my older brother surprised me in 2013 and said, "Hey, I got tickets to the MLS Cup Finals. Kansas City's playing Real Salt Lake." And pretty much since then, I showed up. We won. From then on, I've just been a sporting fan, and that's where it kind of stayed. And up until maybe a year ago, I've been a casual fan, paid attention, and then kind of took a switch and actually paying attention seriously and wanting to be involved with the community. I just thought it seems so toxic. It seems really lame. And then finally I kind of woke up and realized, no, it's actually pretty fun. So if I could do it, I feel like more people can.
And well, you talked about that switch. Is there any, other than going to that final, was there any like thoughts of why you were? Because let me just tell you, the reason I became a Houston Dynamo fan, right? Because I was, opposite of you, I'm a Boca Juniors fan, right? And diehard, followed, the team, watched Copa Libertadores, try to keep up with the league, and like all throughout high school, I was like, kind of same idea as you. This MLS league, poor quality, like it's bad, right? But then, I consider myself a Houstonian. I rep Houston, right? And all these things, H-Town, da da da.
Sure.
And then I was like, bro, like I love soccer. I love Houston. Why not support the hometown team? Like why not go all out on them? And obviously, back in like 2019, 2020, I was like, I like podcasting. Let's start a Dynamo podcast. They started, a soccer podcast or whatever, maybe, right? And that's how this kind of became to be. And you're kind of going, it's not the same route because, you're doing something a little bit different. But, you got into this whole media stuff and doing all your streaming, your reactions, which is amazing. And, it's great. But, what made you decide like, hey, you know what? I'm going to follow SKC and maybe, there's nothing really nothing out there media wise to kind of put them out there. Because honestly, I mean, I'm sure there's podcasts or something, whatever, but, nowadays when I think SKC, I think Kevin, right? Like I think of you, right?
Yeah.
What was that? What were the ideas behind, starting your whole channels and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, mentioning that turn where I started to not pay, like everyone dreams of playing. And by the time where I realized like, I'm not going to play and there's not even a chance for me to play professionally. I had another dream, and the other dream was I've always loved films. I love movies, and I like the making of movies. So in high school, I made a YouTube channel just to learn how to edit by myself, just watching other YouTube channels, reading books or whatever. And that channel I've had for 7 years now has changed over time. So it was from gaming stuff from when I was in high school. Then by the time I got into college, I started making like documentary-esque style stuff on topics that I'm interested in. And so to get the timeline right, I thought of doing a breakdown on on MLS because I had so many things I wanted to say that bothered me that I just wanted to make this, right? So I talked about how it started and where it could be going and how it's changed and blah, blah, blah. And I asked a buddy of mine, like, hey, because we're SKC fans, I asked them, hey, is there like a watch along channel or something where I can get B-roll? I just need footage of a guy that supports sporting to use as B-roll as I'm talking about sporting or whatever. And he said, yo, there's not one, which I always thought, I was like, what? I mean, it's one of an older club. I feel like a blue blood team or whatever. So it surprised me, whatever. All right, I finished the video. At the same time, during the Copa America last year, I thought I would love to try watch alongs to see what it would be like. So I was like, all right, forget it. I don't care how bad we play. I don't care. I'm going to do a watch along at a separate channel and just see how it goes. And luckily, as you know, it was a great tournament. It ended beautifully. It couldn't have been better. I had in the final, I had like 8,000, 9,000 live viewers with me chatting. It was like a crazy experience. So then I loved that. I'm like, damn, I wish I could keep doing that. And Argentina doesn't play that often. doing Reaver games would be such a pain in the ass, just time wise. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then I remembered there's no one that's doing this for sporting, which again seemed weird. So then I decided, you know what? I talked to my wife and my mom. That's just one random day. I was like, all right, guys, I have an idea. All right. And it's going to sound a little weird. And I remember, everyone's moms are like, do what you want to do. She didn't really care. My wife was like, okay, do it as long as I can meet Johnny Russell. And I was like, all right, that's a goal. All right, let's do it. So yeah, I just started up streams because I knew the editing and the software behind it. It wasn't hard. I didn't know if anyone would watch, especially because I had this idea of like, who really cares about MLS? Before I had any followers at all, I was like, does anyone really care? Like, really? So once I started streaming, I had like 30, 40 people chatting with me. And I'm like, okay, I guess some people care. And then more and more people on random social media started following and talking to me. And now it's like a whole vibe. I don't really care who you support. I got random people talking to me, rival teams or whatever, that we just have fun. So mostly, I'll react to a goal or two, but like the streams are 2 hours of just talking to people, which is just a nice vibe. And no matter what, I would be watching the games anyways. So might as well just turn on a camera or something. But that's basically how it started. And now it's like turned into something really crazy. And we were able to, the players invited us personally. A player said, come down, go to training. We got to meet Johnny Russell. My wife met him. She was freaking out. And now it's just like, okay, what's next? So we're just going to keep going, I guess. And once, like you said earlier, Kansas City got a World Cup bid. Now, like, all that is in my brain right now. So yeah, it's just a weird roller coaster. I did not think it was going to go this far, but it's been fun.
How excited are you that Kansas City? Because honestly, I was shocked when Kansas City got it. Not because of it just seems like a small town, and when you think of World Cup, you think like, oh, big old stadiums and mega cities. Maybe Kansas City is a bigger city than what I think it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just seems like everybody talked about the middle states being flyover states and stuff like that, right? But how shocked were you when you were like, oh, were you shocked? I don't know. Did you see that coming? The World Cup
I
getting?
felt it coming just because of the training facilities is here. Kansas City is famous for its crowd. So like, I guess it's Lawrence, but KU basketball has an insane environment. The Chiefs have one of the loudest atmospheres in the world. And so it has that stadium, Arrowhead. I always thought like, okay, if it comes here, which we knew was coming to the US, I was like, we're gonna get it. I wasn't even sweating, but you never know. The only cities I was nervous about was Chicago, but their Soldier Field is trash, and so I was like, we're gonna be fine there. The other one was maybe Colorado because Denver's a cool vibe. It's a different the background with the mountains. It would look nice, and that was the only one I was really worried about. And we beat them, but I know the atmosphere is going to be great, and we know we needed someone central just for the fans that can't fly all the way east or all the way west. They'll just come here. So I'm excited for it. Right now, I'm kind of in like I don't really care about the World Cup. We just won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't really. Honestly, I don't give a shit. Some Brazilians are like, bro, we're going to see you Copa America. I don't care. Beat us 10-0. I don't give a shit. You guys won't make it out of the groups. Fine. I'd rather get grouped. I don't care. Scotland can group us. I don't give a shit. Messi just won the World Cup, dude. Do you understand what that means? Like, dude, I'm
It,
loving life.
right? Yeah. There's nothing they can do or say.
Nah.
It's whatever. It's whatever. But talking about the cool things that you've gotten to do, with the whole channel and just kind of blowing up, you mentioned already, being invited, to trainings and stuff like that. Is there any other cool stuff that maybe you can kind of think of, like you gotten to do, like you were like, wait, what's going on? Like, did I just really get invited just because we're
Yeah.
watching games?
Yeah, that was a weird, just a weird day because, especially at that time, Sporting was playing so bad. We didn't really have signings. It was a really bad moment, and I made a couple of videos where I was legitimately pissed off, and I just made jokes and whatever. So I didn't think that the players individually would ask me to go. But the guys were so cool and so understanding that they were just like, we like that you're not toxic, but you want us to play better. You want when they said we knew we're not playing good. We should be playing better, which was mind blowing. I'm like, what? I don't think as a player I would be like, don't ever say that ever again, and you are never welcome to. I couldn't believe how cool they were. And honestly, I don't know. The clubs they like are like me, I guess. I'm trying to catch the vibe to see if the workers in the clubhouse like me, but the players are vibing with me. I'm starting to do interviews with the players now. We're sending chats behind the scenes, which is insane. I would never have thought that 6 months ago. So yeah, I would just say, like, especially people who are trying to do this, just do it, or whatever it is, if it's podcast, if it's streams, if it's whatever, because you will never know what's going to happen, because I think the league and the teams, they just want attention. So you have someone that's working super hard, maybe they're, I don't know, doing like what you're doing, like a podcast, and they see the editing, the work you're putting in time. You will get that random email inviting you to a game. The Current was another one. Their admins DM me, said, "Hey, come out here." I streamed 2 games, and they're like, "We love what you're doing. Come out here." I'm like, "Okay, hell yeah!" Gave me media pass. That they're also amazing. So I would just say, like, it hasn't even been a year. I've not streamed a full season. I've only did half of a season. Anyone in this world right now, they could do it.
Is there any maybe what's it called? Not tips, but the previews of what's coming for your channel this year? Do you have any ideas of what maybe
There's
gonna
some
do, or surprises?
there's some things I don't think I can say yet, but it's like very soon that's coming out. Nothing like holy crap Hollywood, but pretty fun and interesting. Just what I know what I want to do is schedule out, which I have mentally. Just we'll see how it works out. Just have games where I can physically be there at home, because that's the vibe that I haven't experienced in a while because I've been streaming. So you kind of take that away when you stream because you're not there. You're just talking to yourself to a camera. So I want to get some of those games, and then some away games. Like, I want to go somewhere else and be the 3 sporting fans and see what it's like. Because yeah, like in Argentina, there's not a lot of away fan, at all. So that's something I would miss out. And some places in Europe, that's not a thing, or you're just a very small amount of people. But that's a whole other vibe. Just getting yelled at and booed and cussed at. I love it. Like, that's something I would love to have, and I already have some places. The thing is that kind of sucks right now is, at the time, I just have a normal job like anyone else. So it is a lot of time to, you just stream, but then you got to edit, and then you got to travel, and then maybe you'll have, paid time off and maybe a vacation or whatever. So it makes it hard, but the goal is to somehow have this be the job and be the full-time thing, like everyone's dream. But we'll just see how it goes for the next couple years.
That's dope, man. That's good. I mean, very encouraging, honestly. I mean, your growth, and like I was telling you earlier, the story of me finding out who you were was, listening to the Cooligans. If you guys don't know, the Cooligans, 2 funny ass comedians in New York,
Oh yeah,
and they do a soccer podcast. They do it like twice a week, and they're extremely hilarious. Christian Polanco, Alexis Guerrero,
the
and they
best.
do
Yeah,
they do the live thing, right? And
yeah.
then I would listen to it the day afterwards on the podcast feed, and they would always talk about this Kevin kid, this Argentinian Kevin kid, and I was like, who the heck is this Argentina? Every time I hear Argentina, it's like that meme of what's this guy, the good looking guy that he's just pointing at the TV.
Oh yeah. DiCaprio. He's like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I'm the
meme.
same way.
So every time I hear Argentina or Argentinian or something like that, I'm like, what? Wait, we gotta go find out who this kid is, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then it's funny because I had just started streaming, like doing watch-alongs of Dynamo games.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was the same thing, just throw a camera on and just watch the games and talk shit, with the 2 people watching.
Yeah, sure.
because I'm already watching the game anyway, so might as well just talk to somebody, and kind of the same idea, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I go, and then I find you, and this guy is doing the same thing for sporting, and I'm like, bro, and he's 1,000 times better, and I was like, bro, this is
No, no.
you know,
No, that's
but it was fun.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, there there are it's obviously watch-alongs are very popular in Europe. You have like Arsenal doing it, and Manchester United, Liverpool. Like, there's a lot of people that are doing it. The only thing that sucks about doing it here is everyone is prepared to just go. And I get this comment all the time. It's just like, how are you watching that? People just have this idea of the MLS that it's just horrible and just like unwatchable, and even without seeing a minute, that is just what's in their head. So especially when I upload on TikTok, people just say the worst things. But what I've been seeing recently is people have been also switching sides. It's like, all right, I'll see what, like, people have no idea that Sporting Kansas City is a thing, no clue. Okay, and then they'll go, they'll comment on the video I uploaded, something nice like "Holy crap, what a goal" or whatever, and then slowly like plants a seed, and then I start getting more people that are like, all right, I'll just follow a team, and they'll pick a random team, and I don't care who you root for, and we'll just chat live. It's like, I don't know, it's people like that, podcasters, any type of content creator. It's like a perfect time right now, especially with the Apple deal, with MLS trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger, to just start something, and it'll definitely kick off. I think everyone that's in it right now has a huge chance to move forward.
True. And before we get to this World Cup talk that we're gonna be having here, I want to ask you something kind of random, but
Sure.
I think it ties in, because you got tats, and I like tats, and we got tattoos and stuff like that. Right? I don't have a lot, but I think you have soccer related tattoos, don't you?
Yeah, well,
Maybe?
so
Kinda?
yes and no. So I have a few planned, but like I have the World Cup trophy plan already scheduled, ready to go. On my calf, I have the coat of arms of Argentina and the royal crown of Spain. Really, just where my family's from. So it's like a big mash of the two. Then I have just stuff like I have a matching tattoo with my wife. I have so my grandparents are from Galicia, Spain, and up there, there's a lot of, especially in their flag, they have a lot of really cool, like Holy Grail, kind of like like almost like how do I even explain this? Basically,
Like
everywhere,
elements?
yeah, that type of element, type of vibe. So I have that on me. I have just most of my tattoos are where my family is from. And I have a couple. I have a River Plate tattoo on my thigh, which smartly there in case I need to hide. It just kind of depends on where I'm at in Argentina. But and then the World Cup. Once I get the World Cup trophy, I actually had the spot saved for the Copa America, and then which is so wild. I swear to you, I have that tattoo done. The artist was ready to do it, and everything was lined up perfectly. Copa America 2021, Argentina, boom, bang, done. And for whatever reason, I just kept pausing it. I'm like, let me just get it after the World Cup. I didn't think we were gonna win, but I was just like, I just want to get it when Messi's done, when we think he's done.
Right.
And so then I just left it blank, and thank God I did, because now I was like, not forget the Copa America, but that spot is perfect for the trophy, and it literally fits perfectly. It's in the exact shape. I don't know. We don't even need more coincidences that we already have. But holy crap, dude! Once we won, I'm like, oh, I already knew in my head, done.
Yeah, exactly. You're just already positioned and everything.
Yes, yeah.
But let's get into this World Cup, because I think this conversation could be forever as well.
Mhm.
Last time I spoke with Josh, Canadian Argentinian, and he was telling me he was actually in Argentina when he to watch those games, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the whole different
Whole different vibe.
experiences, and I think everybody lived it differently, right? I spoke to Maxi from Australia, same thing, different emotions in a whole different country. But you're here in the U.S., right? So before we get to the Argentina part, let me ask you about the United States, just because we live here. We follow the U.S. kind of the same like you. I just the last couple of years since I
Yeah,
started getting into the MLS, I started kind of following the United States men's national team, especially now with novelas and everything going on.
sure.
It's fun times. But just tell me a little bit about, what were your expectations for the United States, if you had any? How far do you think they were going to go, and how did you see them kind of overall in a little summary?
Yeah, I thought once we saw their group with insane matchups like England, I was so excited for that game. Um, Wales and Iran, right? And I was like, okay, in my brain, second. Like a lot of us thought second is that's where they're gonna sit right behind England and go to the first round. In my opinion, and I was thinking, okay, for sure, see them as a lock. First round, definitely gonna happen. But what I was hoping for is just maybe another win to move on to the next one. Um, I to me, like you said, I picked this up later, and I still have not a good taste in my mouth on how they develop players. Okay, that's just where I'm at right now. But I will never root against them. But for me, it's just like let's put it in terms of they do not move me. Like I'm support them. I will support them for sure, as long as they're not playing Argentina or Spain, and I will go yes USA all day long. When they lose, there's no pain. There's nothing. The only time I actually felt something was when they didn't even qualify, and I was like, oh geez, well, this country's not gonna hear about this game for another 8 years at least. But for me, yeah, I just wanted them to get out of the group, obviously, get into that first round, and just hope that they can get out of there. And what we saw was that, and we got to the first round and then played Netherlands, and what it looked like was exactly the opposite that you would want your game to be as a player, because it was just three mistakes. It was like New England, what? Netherlands? I don't even know. What am I? I'm already in MLS mode right now. uh Netherlands were already, they weren't like a crazy good team, but they just played super basic ass football. And the United States just made mistakes, and it wasn't like they got dominated or the US got super unlucky. It was 3-1, and it kind of fit. Or was it 3-1? What was the score? Is that right?
I think it was 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just that it
Maybe.
wasn't a shock, and I wasn't too disappointed. But I think next World Cup is going to be crazy, only because this team was so young. Now they're going to be more mature. It's at home for a lot of the games. That's just going to be an added vibe. There was already a lot of hype for Team USA to be back, but imagine now in the US. It's going to be crazy.
I have the same exact sentiment that you do. It's like I
Yeah.
don't hate them, but it's like let's go USA, but it doesn't affect me at all.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's always good to see at least the country where you live in do good, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So now let's get into the good stuff. Argentina. I think you as well. I streamed every game. I watched it here, the same spot, wearing the same clothes,
Yep.
having
Same.
the same tablas.
Yes. Yeah.
Funny enough, because everybody I spoke to during the Saudi Arabia game, they did something, and then for the next game, they searched everything up, and
So
then
did
they
I.
just kept it.
Yes.
I did too.
Yes.
But yeah, you watched it like differently to other people, right? Everybody
Yeah.
else either watched it with people
Yes.
or family and friends or alone at their house. But one thing is watching it when people are watching you watching, right?
Yes.
Um,
I don't think I'll do it again. It's going to be straight up.
Because it was funny because towards the end you were conflicted because you were like, should I stream or should I not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing. So how it turned out was the first game, Saudi Arabia. We know how that went. Doing that live, I almost cheated it because it was at 4 a.m, and the chat wasn't as toxic as I thought it was going to be. If we lost, I was never expecting like anyone that we'd lose to them. I was thinking maybe Poland or something, or Mexico would give us a problem. But once that happened, I was like, okay, just like you, just like everyone, mentally, I'm like, I'm changing everything. I never wore the home jersey again. That was the only time I wore it. Not once. I haven't even touched it. until I took photos like after the World Cup. So, I mean, I didn't wear the same socks, underwear, pants. I didn't wear anything the same. In fact, I have a drawer, and my wife will. This is all true. I have a drawer where I left it. Okay, I left all of those things. The socks that I wore were. So the first game, there were these Argentina socks. All right, perfect for the vibe. The next game were these boring gray socks that I use when I go to work and like just business attire. I wore those socks to the grave, to the whole thing. But like you said, like I started streaming it continuously. All right, the Mexico game was just, we just had to, obviously we had to win. And like all the emotion came out. And I had a few people in chat that were, a little negative or whatever, maybe Mexico fans. But then the rest of everyone was just like, this man needs to win. Like they knew I was going to mentally lose my mind if we lost. And it was every game after Saudi Arabia was a elimination game. Mexico had to win. Poland, we wanted to finish first so damn bad, and we won. Then, Netherlands was, what was first? Australia had to win, got super stupid at the end. And then Netherlands, exactly what happened at the end. Too stupid. And then Croatia, it wasn't, once we got to Croatia, I stopped. So like Netherlands ended the penalty shootout, and all that was going through my mind was 2014, even though this was a semifinal. I was watching the game with thousands of Argentinians. I was in Miami. Okay. And we were out in the streets. Had TVs like in bars. We were looking in, and I watched the World Cup final then in 2014. And it was horrible because once it ended, you're with your peers, and then we had opposing fans talking shit. Some Latinos that were just talking shit in Spanish to us. Better luck next time. Don't cry. I mean, to my face. And I remember that feeling, that moment. And I was a younger guy at the time, more quiet, didn't really say much. Now I knew if I was in public and someone said that to me, I don't even know how I'd act. I honestly, I will literally, I don't care if I get my ass whooped, I'm fighting. Okay. I remember in Miami, there was a guy behind me that, I mean, he was Argentinian, like picture rugby player was what he looked like. And someone that was Hispanic, doesn't matter where, but we could tell with the accent, said, better luck next time, guys, while wearing Germany jerseys. So this Argentinian behind us said, you don't sound very German to me, right? And this guy and his girlfriend were kind of staring at him. And then he said that he would basically take his wife and plaster her in the road if they said another thing. And then he said, don't talk to kids, because I was in high school at the time, So it was just like, and they were grown ass men and women, right? So that memory in my brain was happening when we were going to play Croatia. And I thought, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to a bar. I just want to be in the comfort of my home. And so I can cry by myself. And then when the game was absolutely lights out, no sweat, Brazil, what happened, baby? That team, what the fuck? Croatia was nothing that I thought they were going to be. So after that game, I thought, all right, we're going to a final. I'm already in this super superstitious mood. I told my wife, look, we have to be in the same spot. We were sitting, watching the TV in the same spot. I wasn't even thinking about streaming. At the very end, I was like, oh, maybe I'll think about it tomorrow. Screw it. I don't even want to put it any bad luck. Same spot, wearing the same thing. Even my wife was. And as we know, it was the craziest, best, worst final of all time. And I don't think sometimes I'm like, oh man, what if I streamed that? No shot. It even would have been good content until the end anyways, because I was unbearably quiet and stressed to where I don't think I would even be in frame. I would have just been like that throughout an hour. That final, 20 minutes and then extra time, I was sick, So yeah, I think from now on, now that we won it, maybe I'll vibe for the next World Cup. But when it comes to Argentina games, it is insanely hard to do streams and getting people talking crap in the chat, and you're trying to stay calm, especially if you're losing. And I'm like, Kevin, you don't want to lose, whatever fans you have right now, but people are saying crazy stuff. But yeah, it was an insane experience. And I thought Copa America was bad, and I had a hard time through then, especially with Colombia and then the Brazil game. But it was somehow worse and then better at the same time this last December.
That is hilarious. You were like the whole time, I can't get canceled. He's like, it just
Yes,
started.
literally. That is literally what I was thinking. I was like, I cannot personally attack this 9-year-old in my chat because he's saying crazy crap. I think the first game, especially, or the first game, the Mexico game was huge, obviously, because we couldn't lose. And for some reason, a lot of Mexico fans just either from the history of the game, because we play Mexico a lot and almost always beat them, or I don't know what it is, but that fan base will just be on you, and they were on me that game. And then when Messi scored, I think I cried that goal, but it like the emotion came out, and sometimes I scream to the camera, not just screaming because like it's kind of like piss off. There you go. Stop. I don't care if Sporting lose the next. If we don't make the playoffs for the next 10 years, I'll be fine because of this one moment. There's the one moment. I don't care about anything else. So it's kind of why I'm excited for next season. Like, I don't care what happens. I'm vibing.
Yeah, it's a win-win period. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I wanted to say a quick shout out to the wives and girlfriends, because I talked to Mike's from Australia, and his wife.
Yes.
She's Australian, but I think she's also like part Indian or something like that. And Argentina played Australia, so she was rooting for Australia. But she was nice enough to like let him be, yeah. And then Josh, his girlfriend is Brazilian. So he's like, bro, like, I had to play my cards right. But he was like, it was kind of tough. And where's your wife from? Just for context.
Yeah, so she's from New York, but she's Puerto Rican. Oh, yeah. So I was clear. I was in the clear. We don't got Puerto Rican national team, no problem. So she was someone that never grew up around football, which has been fun because of the last few years she's been getting into it, and especially now during the World Cup, she was like, Copa America is when she really turned into another beast. Like she's screaming at the TV, she's cussing people out. It was like the woman Debu was my wife during Copa America, and it continued. So after Saudi Arabia, like she couldn't look at the chat, she couldn't look at people's comments because people would say they were saying horrible things. They were tagging me everywhere. I couldn't even get on TikTok because people were tagging me. Same thing with Twitter. And she took it personally, but after we started picking up speed, we became a little bit more calm. And by the time when France scored the tying goal, she actually went to the bathroom, and I lost my shit because I was like, "You went to the bathroom, and now they tied the game. They actually scored both goals while she was in the bathroom, both of them."
No.
Yes. I don't know if she was getting ready. It was early in the morning, as you know. So she was just getting ready for her day. So she was in the bathroom doing whatever, and they scored 2 goals thinking we're about to be World Cup champions. So she came back down for the rest. But yeah, it's a whole different vibe especially when the wives or girlfriends are supporting you, or if you have to be careful. But luckily she's whatever team I am.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because my wife is from Chile, right? So like for a little bit, she would give me shit, right?
Yeah, that's not
the whole Copa that we lost. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I watched one of them at their house, at her parents' house, and it was like maybe 15 Chileans and then myself, and I was like, bro, we got this in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm not to like talk shit to these people.
That was the first one?
I think it was the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like this could be terrible. And then the second one, I learned my lesson. I watched it in a different place. I was like, I don't want all that drama,
Smart.
But it's cool how your wife kind of like gave into the cabalas, right? Like it's cool because I would tell my wife, I was like, hey, every game that I'm here, I need to be by myself.
Yep.
I have a bunch of kids. So I was like, can you please take the kids? Like just
get them away from me. Don't even, they don't want to be around me.
Like they were here a couple of games, but like for the first half, but I was like, man, like this is too much. Like I was holding my baby, and like Argentina would score, and I would scream, make him cry, and I'm like, oh no, like relax, dude. Like, but no, it's fun. It's cool that the wives and the girlfriends are even though they can be not haters.
Yeah, they could,
but they support it. They could be, right? But they support us at the end of the day, so I think it's cool that
yes, for sure.
We're trying to do our thing and trying to be passionate about the sport, and also, their love is enough to deal with the craziness, right?
Yes, definitely.
But
Yes.
let's dive deeper into this France game because I'm interested in the feelings and the emotions that happen in this, at the end. Because
Yeah.
talking to everybody I talked to, everybody was either 30 or younger, 31 or younger. So for us, the Copa America was our first like trophy
Yes.
that we got to experience, right? Our first emotion of actually winning something. Because I don't count, because I remember the Olympics that
Yep.
we
I
got back
remember
in
it.
the day, right?
Yeah.
But it just feels a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike Uruguay, we understand it's the Olympics and not the World Cup.
Shout out to the Uruguayans out there. Uh, Copa America, I remember I watched it here with my family. It was amazing. Like I
Yep.
watched it with my dad. I remember like my dad is a very like cold not cold, but
Yeah.
affection and all this. Like we tell each other we love each other, but it's not like all the time, right?
Yeah.
But and then whenever we won that, like I remember just hugging, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and it was like a big family thing, right? And it was a moment for us as a family. But this one, like the emotions were at a gazillion, right? Like you just,
Yes.
even though I was watching it here by myself, my whole family, like my dad and my brothers, they were all watching it together. But I was like, I can't. Like I
Yeah.
watched
Gotta be
every game
alone.
here, you
Yeah.
know. But can you? I don't know if you can run me down how where were you when you watched it, and the kind of like the emotions you felt, and what did you do like when Montiel grabbed the ball, walked to the penalty spot, took the
Yes.
shot, and just your mind just like exploded.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
can walk me through that.
yeah, like I said, this one we didn't I didn't stream, but watch the game. When Di Maria got the penalty, I was just like, all right, knowing what happened. I mean, we 2-0 was our nightmare. It's actually been Argentina's nightmare for a long time. I've been re-uploading highlights for as long as Scaloni. This is the only sad or downside. As long as he's been our coach, 2-0 games for the most part has been are like kryptonite. It's like every time we get 2-0, something hits the fan. And so when Messi scored the pen, right? Yeah, I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
right game, right? Okay, he scores the penalty. I'm freaking out, but calm. All right, that's one. Let's keep going. Stay calm. That first half, we played so damn good. Like France was not playing. It was unbelievable. We were destroying this team. So good. And then the goal of the final, where oh my god, the Messi little flick out, and you got McAllister running, and it was Di Maria scoring because he deserved it. That is when I just broke down, legitimately broke down crying. I could not believe we scored again. But in my brain, I was like, I don't remember Argentina scoring in a damn final other than that Copa America. We went to so many penalty shootouts, crappy finals. In the World Cup against Germany, we didn't score. And then Di Maria scoring again. Okay. And it wasn't a chip. It was close, it was close. But scoring again, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't think we won, but it was like he needed that so bad. We needed that secure goal. And we're going to halftime. They make two subs. They're literally shitting their pants right now. Giroud is gone, and I think Dembele was out or something. All right, halftime. Halftime, I couldn't even get on social media. I stayed off of it. I didn't want to say. Everyone was tagging me. Everyone tags me during games, and like they don't know I'm not going to look until I'm done. And everyone's asking how I'm doing, blah blah blah. And then we get to the second half, and again, we start out pretty damn good. Like back to where we were in the first half. I'm like, dude, we are going to kill this damn team. Holy crap. And then the nightmare started. Like right, I don't know, 70 something, 80th minute, whenever it was.
Yeah.
The first one was a penalty, right? When was the first one?
Yeah.
Or no, they were
It was
both penalties?
no, the first one, was it the first one, the PK?
Now I'm
Yeah,
trying
because
to.
they scored the first PK and then they just came out swinging and then
Yes.
they
Okay.
scored the second one,
It's
right?
just the game is, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
that's right.
the other way around. It don't matter
Yeah,
now.
it doesn't matter. So the first one went in, and I just knew it. Like I said, my wife was upstairs. I'm like, oh god, it's happening. Like it's happening in my brain. I knew it. And again, when the first one went in, mentally, I almost broke down again. I'm like, it's literally happening, right? I even texted my wife, I need to screenshot this because the first goal goes in and I just wrote, Julie, it's happening. Like, that's all I wrote. It's coming. They're coming back. And then I think the second one, Killian did that fucking crazy little volley, boom, and that's I could not. I couldn't believe it. Like, I just could not believe it. And Di Maria's out, and like he's crying, and all this stuff is happening right before the end of the game. And that's where I just couldn't handle it. I knew I had all my phones off. I had everything off. We went to extra time. When Messi scored that insane goal, where it was like a goal, it was offside. Did it cross the line? It crossed the line. Is it offside? Yeah, it is. It's goal. That whole goal, I didn't even celebrate. I just went, all right, goal. There was too much time because they were going to come back. I just felt it. Like, I felt it. Even my wife, she cheered and then stopped because she looked at me. I'm like, dude, I promise you, we're losing today or they're going to draw right here. I'm telling you. So then, of course, a handball, Montiel, which shouldn't have been a handball because there was a handball on their end, which pisses, dude. If we lost the World Cup, I promise you, I think I said this. I even said this to everyone I know. I would have stopped streaming right there, straight up. If we lost the World Cup and that call wasn't given, where they hit his hand first and then it went to eventually Montiel. Anyways, so the handball happens. Killian makes it. All right, 3-3. We go to penalties. And in my brain, at this point, I'm like, no, it's done. Dude, I don't know why, even though we did good in Copa America, we were great against Netherlands. I have no idea why I thought, this is, if we're going to lose this final World Cup chance, this is how we would lose. We were winning. They come back. Penalties. It's ugly. I was thinking Messi's missing. Everyone's going to make it. Just Copa Americas that happened before. And then Dibu, the only time I celebrated in the penalties at first was when the kid missed it. So Dibu saved it. I didn't even say anything. Just, all right. Dibu did one. Okay. Thumbs up. When the second kid who was talking shit before the game missed it, dude, I almost did a cartwheel. Like, I lost my mind. Like, so happy, especially he missed it. They are in the, like, they missed two. Holy crap. And then everything just kept going in. Dybala stepped up. I even looked at my wife. I'm like, this is a miss. This dude is going to miss. And they all barely made it. Okay. All right. We move on. And I think it's Paredes made it. I can't remember who was after that. And then once it got to Montiel, once I knew it was him, I knew we won. The thing is, Montiel is so damn good at penalties. I watched before this game. My older brother, sent me highlights of when he was in River, which I remember him scoring crazy penalties, scoring penalties all day long, no problem. When he was walking up, I don't think there's a better person other than Messi. He misses them sometimes, but this man had to have been the guy. He is so damn good at penalties that once he was stepping up, as I posted on social media, I started recording because I knew it was going. I just had the feeling that the dude is a dog. And once it went in, dude, and Hugo Lloris is horrible. I mean, the worst goalkeeper. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fraud that guy is. And once
he doesn't play those games, he says.
Yeah, bro, shut the hell. You don't play those games. The thing is about Hugo, he's so awful at penalties that once it went there, we should have known it was gonna be. We're scoring 4. Like, that's it. We just need Dibu to save 1. Whatever. But yeah, then right after that, I'm screaming. I had my phone at the time. I dropped it. We're running around the house. I put all my Bluetooth speakers on. I'm blasting music because I was just at my house. Even the family, the small family I have here, they actually went to a bar with some Argentinians to watch it in a group, and I couldn't do it. So, like you said, like we've already talked about, I couldn't be around people, and so I was just in my house, me, my wife, and my dog. That's it. Running around, hugging each other, dancing. I'm thankful I'm not live. I was saying some very cancelable things. All right, just saying to whatever about France and losing my mind, and it was just like a moment that all the memories of 2014 where we just should have won that. We just should have won that final. We're all coming back. All the little bullying, we all got in high school, call whatever age you were, all the friends that were talking shit, all those years of just BS. We could finally be like, God, just piss off. And what's funny is everyone I know that is not a fan of Argentina and that are friends with me were sending me like my Brazilian friends. All right, you got 3. Tell me when you get 5. Bro, you have 3 jewels. Like you have 3 trophies that don't exist, dog. We have I don't give a shit about 5, man. Like this is epic. The same thing about when we won in Brazil. I'm like, it won't be a better final. All right, and I say this to Boca fans. There's not gonna be another final either. There's only one that'll ever be like that ever again. But that all those feelings were coming back, and I've cooled off. I'm glad that I didn't go live because even I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go live tomorrow and I'm gonna talk with everyone and whatever. And I knew I would say something dumb, or I was just too heated and too excited. But I've calmed down a lot, ready to be chill and be nice to everyone. And I'm hoping 2026, whoever wins, wins. I would hopefully not Brazil, but whatever. If they get it, they get it.
I like how you just sprinkle it. Hopefully not Brazil, but
yeah, just not Brazil. Not Brazil.
But anybody can get it. Yeah.
A new winner. That would be nice.
That would be dope. Maybe like some random, I don't know.
Yeah,
Morocco. Bring Morocco back.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Something like that could happen, especially when we have 500 teams in the World Cup. So you never know.
Right? How crazy is that?
I think it's stupid as hell and ruins everything. And the vibes of the group stage are gonna suck. But I think everyone's been saying this. I don't think I know a single person that's like, it's a good idea. No. It's just dumb, man. It's dumb. But whatever. Now we're gonna have teams that are not normally in it, which just means we might have more upsets. That's the only positive, is that we might get upsets, or we might just get more massacres, like 7-1, whatever it is.
Shout out to Brazil. But with that being said, man, I think we can end this on the high note, how we been ending it on this. So, I mean, I think the pinnacle of emotions is becoming world champions. And like you said, man, from here on, like the world could come crashing down. I even told my wife, I was like, if I die tomorrow, like I'm content, I'm happy. I saw what I wanted to see my entire life. Yes. And I was telling people, I don't know how you feel. Maybe I'm gonna run this question by you, but since we're crazy about soccer, we're crazy about the sport, and like we live it in a different, it's a different thing, right? For us Argentinians, I don't know if it's in the water, the blood, where it comes from, right? But we're just weird, we're different. And I would tell my friends, my group chat, and none of them are Argentinians. They're all either like Mexicans or white folks or whatever it may be. And I told them, I was like, this might be an exaggeration, but my life has changed forever.
Oh, like, yeah.
How could you? I don't know, because I told that to all the guys that I've talked to, and they said the same thing. They were like, my life, like there's a before and after. Yes. Do you feel that, or just too crazy?
Now it feels, for all of us, I'm sure it feels like it didn't happen, and it feels like it just, especially because we get to hear it from maybe our older siblings or our parents or whoever, like, oh, you don't understand, when we won the World Cup, this is what it was like. And you had to imagine what it's like to have won the World Cup. And, those times when Diego lifted it, or even before him. Now we get to say it. We could tell our kids this. It's like people tell me, okay, it's like, oh, some people, well, my favorite team's LAFC. It's like when we won. Bro, I cannot tell you how batshit crazy you sound if you're saying that it's like winning an MLS Cup. It is not like winning anything in the world. It's not winning a Super Bowl. This thing happens every 4 years, dog. It's not even the Olympics, because you have people care about the Olympics. Awesome. You do not see people literally destroy their country in riots from happiness from winning a gold medal. It's the World Cup trophy, dude. I think now, like, it feels good because on one side the shit talking just ends. This little goofy goat debate ends. We don't really have to talk about it anymore. And this whole thing where it's like, well, Argentinians think they're good and they get close, but they're just chokers and they don't do well, and you don't even remember when you were good and blah blah blah, and now it's over. One thing that I will say before we end it is just to keep in context, it's been like 22 years since the greatest soccer nation won the World Cup in Brazil, right? 22 years. That we were 34 years. Brazil is getting to that almost the same distance that we have in when they won their last one. That is the difference here. I have Brazilian who are from Brazil, friends from Brazil, and I'm like, you don't remember winning a World Cup. You were too little. Or they'll lie. Oh yeah, I remember. No, you don't. I barely remember stuff when I was 6 or whatever. Like, no, you don't remember. Being an adult right now and never forgetting this is unbelievable, and it's so hard to describe because we just sound like gloaters or something. Like, oh, bro, get over it. That was a month ago or whatever. It's like, dude, no, you don't understand. My background on my screensaver will not change till I die. You understand me? Like, that is what's happening here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We sound like a bunch of lunatics, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's fun. I mean, the fact that I'm able to chat with people that have like similar feelings, it's amazing because I don't feel as crazy by myself. But
Yeah.
hey, Kevin, where can the people find you, man? Because I'm telling everybody, you are hilarious. You are extremely funny, and funny enough, I told my wife, I was like, I need to get this kid on the podcast before he blows up, and I can't get
Nah.
him, and I can't get him on the podcast. I was like, it has to be now that he's starting to blow up. But yeah, where can I find you, man?
Okay. Well, at the moment, because I've had some issues with Fox Soccer, I've had to change some things. But on Twitter, I'm just Kevin Show, which is Kevin CHO_TV. All right. If you just look that up, you'll find me on TikTok. Or same thing on YouTube. Kevin Show TV, Kevin Show, you'll find me. And then on TikTok, I'm Kevin Show_reacts. All pretty easy to remember, but yeah, all that for now until like maybe Fox or FIFA decides that they want to ban my account or something. But that's where we're at right now.
That's crazy. When you have FIFA and Fox Sports fighting you, it's like you made it, bro. You
Yeah,
made
I guess. I wish I didn't make it, I guess. But yeah,
it. But yeah, I will leave the descriptions, all the links below. If
cool.
you guys are listening, don't forget, go to the descriptions or wherever it may be. You'll be able to find Kevin. But don't forget, go to the YouTube channel for Cuatro Cuatro Dos. Follow me with my little subscriber count, and
Let's
then
go.
you go find Kevin as well. But yeah, man, stay tuned. Don't forget more conversations coming in the future. And once again, thank you, Kevin, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Cuatro Cuatro Dos. See you guys.